Euston Station, London. Starting point of the West Coast Main Line between Glasgow and London. And my starting point for tonight. 397 miles of railway line lay before me on my journey to the Highlands of Scotland. This is an adventure with trains on the night train.
Of all the trains departing Euston Station heading north of Scotland, the Caledonian Sleeper is the most famous. Scheduled to depart at 9:15 p.m. from Platform 1, speeding its passengers across Britain overnight in luxury onto the lowlands and highlands of Scotland.
Platform 9
with 16 carriages, the Caledonian Sleeper takes up the full length of platform 1 at Euston Station. With my room found, there was time for a quick, obligatory look around the room before we shoot.
So this is a club room ensuite. It's of a reasonable size for overnight transport, and this is what the extra cost is for. The lovely ensuite shower and toilet. So now you can do your business. One of the first things I was told to do was to fill out this lovely little chit. It's for my breakfast order, and I already know what I'm going to order, and that will be the traditional Scottish breakfast. So I'm going to take this little pencil and give it a good old tick. I'm also offered a selection of teas or hot drinks or cold drinks. Got breakfast blend tea, gunpowder tea, or Earl Grey. As an Englishman, I think I'm going to go for the breakfast blend, and I'm going to have it in the club car, and I will be having my breakfast at 8:45 AM. How about that? A nice, good time to start the morning.
At 9 PM exactly, our train departed for Scotland. Fully booked in, breakfast chip menu completed, and review done for YouTube. It was time to explore the Caledonian Sleeper on its 416-mile journey to Fort William.
I did get a notification, but since I last looked at the menu, it's changed. They've now got their summer menu. I think I'm going to go for the chocolate tart or fruit coulis. And to wash that down, I'm going to go with tomatin. I think that's how it's pronounced. There it is. Tomatin. A 12-year-old malt whiskey, a rich, fruity aroma is the prelude to sweet, smooth flavours of ripe apples, pears, and a subtle suggestion of malt, nut, before the long, lingering, pleasing, oily finish. I don't know if an oily finish is good at this, and we'll soon find out. Very strong.
Sampled, food menu sampled, the journey continued in pleasant surroundings. Lips wetted, sweet cravings satisfied, it was time to return to my room and prepare for bed.
So some final thoughts on my experience with the Caledonian Sleeper so far. We're coming up on Rugby, we're running non-stop to Crewe, that's where we stop and pick up or drop off, whichever one happens to be doing. So far I've enjoyed it. I had a really nice supper, nice chocolate tart, which was really good, with a nice raspberry coulis, and then I wash it down with a lovely Tomatin whiskey, malt whiskey, 12-year-old, fantastic, really hit the spot. Yeah, I've really enjoyed this so far. I think it is a great experience, and as a railway enthusiast, I would happily do it again. Whether I still feel that same way in the morning, I'll let you know. One of the complaints that I did see a lot on reviews for both the Night Riviera, which is the sleeper that runs from London Paddington down to Penzance, and the Caledonian Sleeper, was noise levels. I touched on this earlier when I said, this is a train first, overnight accommodation second. The noise I'm hearing so far, and you may well be able to hear it as I'm talking to you now, is the noise of the wheels and other bits and bobs, the braking system and things like that. This is part of the train. There is only so much you can do to remove that variable within the journey experience. My advice would be, when one is booking the Caledonian Sleeper, whether you're going to Fort William, Glasgow, Inverness, Aberdeen or Edinburgh, make sure firstly that your cabin, if you are taking a cabin, or your seat isn't above the bogie system of the carriage. That's where the spring and the wheels are, and that's going to produce a lot of noise. It's a pretty basic thing, but it can make a huge difference on noise level and what you feel during the night. As for me, again, I'm biased. I'm a railway enthusiast. I can think of nothing better than the view I've got right now, of the beauty of Britain at night drifting past my window, and I think we're just pulling into Crewe now actually. I'm being lulled to sleep by the noise of the carriage. That's brilliant to me. But there are some that are like sleepers or are not really railway enthusiasts and are doing this journey as a tourist. I'm doing it as a railway enthusiast and doing the adventuring so you don't have to. I'm letting the train take the strain, and I'm happy with it. And that's my opinion, and I'm putting it out there. Disclaimer, it is an opinion. Whether you agree with me or not is your opinion. And this is my opinion. I'm a lover of trains. Have been from a young age. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that lovely Highland sunrise tomorrow. Now from me, it's good night, and I'll see you again in the morning.
Scenery of the Scottish Highlands has to be the best morning view I've had.
Good morning. I hope you slept well. I've slept well too. It has just turned 6:48 AM, and I'm enjoying the just breathtaking scenery as it drifts by. It's unbelievable. It's like I'm travelling to Middle Earth in Lord of the Rings. That's the best way I can describe it, because it's just an unrivaled, rolling, dramatic scenery of the Scottish Highlands. And you have to be here to witness it, because there's no other place you can be apart from the train to see it. So that's my morning. I slept really well. Yeah. As I said before, it's a train first, overnight accommodation second. So I did feel the bumps. The mattress is not thick like my one at home, which cost me about 400 quid. Not bragging, but that's what you've got to remember. There is, a train first. I'll be having breakfast in just over an hour and a half. I look forward to enjoying the taste of Scotland as I enjoy the scenery of Scotland in the way only an Englishman can, with a mug of
morning breakfast tea. I'll catch up with you shortly.
Fully awake after a tepid shower on the Caledonian Sleeper, I made my way to the club car for my Scottish breakfast. First tea of the day, with views of the Scottish Highlands drifting by, will never be beaten. A cooked breakfast has always been a treat. The breakfast I was served that morning was a treat with a Scottish twist. With the twists and turns of the Scottish West Highland line crossed and traversed, Fort William was reached at 10:10 a.m.
Fort William reached. The Caledonian Sleeper really is a brilliant way to travel. Rather than arriving in the dead of night, I've arrived at 10 a.m, fresh and ready for a day out in the Highlands. Now it's time to prepare for my next part of this grand adventure, and I promise you'll want to watch it. I've saved the best until last.